Howdy, I'm Ben Solak. We're talking NFL draft quarterbacks. Welcome to the play sheet. The opening script, let's talk about how we talk about Drake Maye.
Yeah, Drake? Drake?
For my money, one of the weirdest things in the 2024 NFL draft process has been how the internet has seemingly just fallen completely and totally out of love with UNC quarterback Drake Maye. Maye is what the draft community tends to love. He's big, fast, strong, 6'4", 223. He had 600 rushing yards last year, 500 this past year. You see him break tackles from defensive linemen, run away from linebackers. He has the physical makeup that the league and the online community tends to like. He has an enormous arm. He regularly accesses 50 plus yards down the field, trick shot throws on the run, like his scramble drill throws, and the areas of the field he hits with precision. Like the highlight reel matches any quarterback in this class, any quarterback last 5 classes. In terms of prototypical tools and peak plays, this guy checks every box. And usually that's the sort of prospect that we outside of the league fall for, just head over heels. You can fix the guy, you can make him good, you can get his 90th percentile plays all the time, and he'll be incredible. But that's not happening with Maye. Maye entered the process preseason as the clear QB2. He was the foil to Caleb Williams, the unquestioned best of the rest in this quarterback class. But then as Michigan won a ton of games, national championship, and J.J. McCarthy emerged, as Jayden Daniels out of LSU emerged and won the Heisman Trophy, these players have kind of vaunted themselves up to the 1B status and have kicked Maye down in a lot of the quarterback discourse right now. The discourse also seemingly reflects how the league is thinking about this class. Right now, Drake Maye is the slightest of favorites to go over Jayden Daniels, number 2 overall to the Commanders, implying that sportsbooks think, that the league thinks, that all these second, third, fourth guys, this group of 3 behind Caleb Williams, they're all about the same level. I disagree. Maye's been my QB2. He remains my QB2. I think he's all that in a bag of chips. I want to talk about why, all the great stuff on his film. I also want to talk about the stuff that has him not QB1, right? The issues that are there and evidently present on his film, the reason why he's not, better than Caleb Williams. But critically, I want to talk about how we discuss those issues relative to the issues of some of these other quarterbacks. Let's go to play action. If you could describe Drake Maye in one word, it would be aggressive. All right, young man likes to throw the ball down the field, likes to throw the ball into tight windows, likes to look for shots. All right, Drake Maye thinks that he can win every game on one play, which can get him into some bad spots, but also leads to some really impressive throws. This is 3rd and 9. We are in 4x1, right? We have 4 receivers here and then just a tight end tight. Yet there is a corner and a safety over here, which is weird, right? We're getting a little bit of a coverage tell. We could be in straight zone coverage, or, which is happening here, one of these 2 guys is coming, in particular this corner off the edge, all right? Drake's gonna snap this football, here comes the corner. Concept-wise, we're gonna get an outbreaker right here, and remember, this is 3rd and 9. We wanna get to the 42. This outbreaker's gonna break right about at the 40. We're also gonna get crosser here and post here, right? They love to run these 2 routes in conjunction, get this crossed, get the big post behind it. So this is what we're looking at concept-wise. Now, what's the rule for quarterbacks? When you get pressure, you wanna replace the blitzer, right? And so at this point right here, tackle's about to go pick up the blitzer. Throwing this route is defensible, right? It is acceptable. It's 3rd and 9. And so if you throw it, you're kind of getting to like 4th and 3, 4th and 2. You're going to be at the 40. Maybe you're going for it. Maybe you're not. It's a conversation. But throwing this is defensible because you have a safety playing from depth. If this route breaks successfully and gets leverage, you hit this guy in stride. He kind of leans forward and tries to pick up the first down. That's all defensible. Drake Maye's not going to do that, right? So he's going to look at that, and then he's going to get to this 3 receiver side. Now, safety here on the logo, deep safety here, nobody deep. Because remember, when they sent this pressure, the corner comes down and blitzes, safety has to replace him. So if this deep safety doesn't gain any width, this safety has to stay low on the tight end, then we know we're going to have space for this route to open up. And that's what Drake Maye is looking for, 3rd and 9, right? So we're going to hitch up. Now again, a lesser quarterback, a more risk-averse quarterback could throw this, or really could just tuck and let this guy become a lead blocker and then go run and try to pick up the first down here. This is acceptable, this is acceptable, this is acceptable. All those are defensible decisions on 3rd and 9, given the amount of space that you have right here, given the blitz that came from this direction. Drake Maye's throwing this route, right? You have a linebacker underneath, you have a safety that's trying to get connected. He's going to throw that beyond the sticks with beautiful placement in stride. Watch end zone view how this route opens up. All right, so we're gonna look backside, see the pressure come, get our head front side. Notice the drift in the pocket too. We're gonna talk a lot in this episode about drifting in the pocket. This is a good example of doing it. Maye's gonna say, okay, I have pressure coming off my left, so I'm gonna get my throwing platform set a little bit to my right, just to give myself a half of a beat away from this rusher, right? So all right, now we're looking for that crosser. Watch this throw. Well, you can see the helmet of the receiver. Right here, May is starting to release it. He does not have leverage yet. He does not have positioning on this ball. May knows I can throw him across, throw him open. Explosive first down. Now, this came back from a hold, but this is a great example of choosing a more aggressive option within structure. Now we have aggressiveness outside of structure. All right, this is 3rd and 12, another 3rd and long, potential blitz, right? Potential pressure here. We're gonna end up getting outbreaker at the sticks, outbreaker at the sticks. This is gonna settle. This right here is supposed to be a post in the middle of the field. They're gonna get drop 8 coverage. All right, now drop 8, you wanna beat drop 8, you either gotta throw quick underneath, right? Throw with timing between the zones, or you gotta throw deeper than deep, right? They are trying to put that many zone bodies on you. You have to be able to beat them over the top. Drake Maye gets to the top of his drop, feels the pressure off his right side. Again, we're gonna talk a lot about pocket management, talk a lot about drifting, but right here, feel that pressure off your front side, climb, now get to the empty space. This receiver on that post sees the scramble drill and gets tall. Look at this throw. Look at this throw. From the 50, 1 foot, moving to his right, 46 yards, breadbasket, 6. End zone view. Okay, so we're talking about the pocket management here, right? Right tackle loses, get around that pressure and go. And now it's aggressiveness outside of structure. On the run, see a receiver get vertical and just uncork it. Right now, 3rd and 12, we're going for 6 points. Big play and have the physical ability to make that throw. That's very nice. Now, one of the best things about Maye's aggressiveness is that he shreds the blitz, right? And he just eats it up because you're creating space for him, right? You are tipping your hand with coverage. You are creating space down the field. He's going to take advantage of that opportunity because he's an aggressive son of a gun. For Georgia Tech, they're going to end up sending 2 pressure players. Blitzer here, and then another blitzer here. And that's because the back stays in. So one of these guys is live. The other one's just reading the back. Other than that, we get man coverage right here. We get man coverage here, this backer on this tight end. And then these 3 secondary players end up playing just a match coverage against these 2 routes from these 2 receivers, right? They're going to have 1 player on the inside, 1 player on the outside, and this player is going to be responsible for deep routes, for vertical routes. What you end up getting is switch release. We go vertical here, and we go vertical across the field. I tell you, they love this cross, right? Drake Maye now is just going to read this player, and whichever route he's not taking away, Maye is going to throw that. But he has to do it with timing, right? He has to do it with speed, a little bit of pace, because the blitz is going to be coming. All right, snap the football. Here comes our pressure off the weak side. Back picks up the first. That second rusher is going to be live, right? That player is going to be free to you. You have to know you have to beat him with this throw. So Drake Maye sees that, gets the eyes front side, looking at this. All right, safety opens his hips to this vertical. I'm going to throw this crosser into space. Hitch, deliver. Perfect throw, touchdown. If you're going to blitz Drake Maye, he's going to kill you. Watch this throw uncovered. Again, this middle of the field throw. Okay, see the blitz. We have a drift to our right in the pocket, right? We're buying ourselves a half second here. Get to the right a little bit, reset that throwing platform, get a little bit of space. Now watch the throw uncover. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. UNC caught in a bad look here. They're going to full slide this protection to the right. All right, everybody's sliding right. Tight end's going to block. Running back's going to block. 7 men in the protection. Problem is, Clemson brings pressure from the left and then drops this edge, right? So they get you in a bad look. They get pressure coming on the tight end and on the running back, not what you want. So it's immediate pressure off Drake Maye's left, right? All right, so concept-wise, this is going to lean and then become a post. Underneath outbreaker here. And then this crosser is climbing to this area of the field. Drake Maye is going to buy time, drifting to his right, and then throw this crosser. Look at the conditions under which he has to attempt this throw. So pressure and pressure, leaning backwards, falling backwards off of his back foot. He's going to throw this crosser. Man, that corner's right there, right? If that corner has vision, he can fall off of this and go get into the catch point. Maye's throwing it anyway. And look at the throw. Pull the receiver upfield. It's perfect placement from that position. End zone view. Just look at how he has to get this throw off. Want that crosser, by time, then just trick shot, right? This is just backyard nonsense. Off the back foot, rotating the body. You can't ask for a better throw. Now, before we go on to some of May's weaknesses, we have to, at the strengths section, talk about the way that his supporting cast affected his game. Because for every incredible Drake Maye scramble drill touchdown, there's another could have been, should have been incredible Drake Maye throw that was dropped, or there was a pressure and protection issue, so on and so forth. He had the worst supporting cast of the top 4 quarterbacks. In my opinion, it is not a question. This throw on slot fade, all right? You do not get a better throw on the slot vertical route than this throw right here. That is just stupid good, all right? Because the whole point of running this route vertical from the slot instead of running this vertical from the outside is that you are trying to get a little bit more space, buy a little bit more space into the sideline. So when you run this, you can throw that over that outside shoulder away from coverage and pull the receiver into the sideline. You're just creating a little bit more space to deliver the ball. So Maye rightfully puts this on the high outside shoulder, and it's dropped and it's bounced and it's incomplete. I think this plays such a good summation of a lot of what we talked about to this point. We are going to get an outbreaker here, and then we're going to get a crossing route developing behind it. It's a similar stretch to that Clemson play we just watched. This time, the post is going to be coming from this side of the field. So that's your stretch right here. 1, 2, 3. That's the stretch you're getting. Back is going to be here to the flat. Tight end is going to be here to the flat. So this is what you're looking at concept-wise. Now, run the play. On the back foot, 1-step drop. We wanted to throw this in rhythm, but we have a sinking player coming right underneath it. So Drake Maye thinks about throwing this and then decides to eat it, right? And I think that's the right choice, because the way that linebacker widens, you say, okay, you know what? That window isn't as big as I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to throw this. I think he's still good, but he doesn't. I think the reason why he doesn't is because he wants something bigger. Namely, he gets to the middle of the field, and now he's looking at this cross. Now, talk about supporting cast. If I'm coaching this receiver right here, linebacker, and then this cover 3 corner just kind of sitting there, I'm telling this receiver to slow down, to steady. Because as this linebacker widens, Maye wants to throw this on a line behind him to you. That's the throw that Maye wants to hit. But this receiver just keeps on gaining depth, and this receiver pulls himself into coverage, into the safety, and into the corner. I understand he's trying to gain depth to get away from this backer, so that way you could throw this ball over the top. But as I run this, again, we're talking about supporting cast. It's not always just drops, right? As I run this, I want this crosser to just slow and get flat, Because Maye is looking at you, so make yourself available. This is the window right here. Make yourself available in this window. But he kind of runs himself into coverage. Now, we know Drake Maye. And so when Drake Maye sees that and the safety closing down, what's Drake Maye thinking of? Oh, what if I threw the post? Right? This is the aggressiveness that we're talking about. So we started this entire idea looking at this quick route right here. And once Maye says no to it, he's now looking middle of the field to read this crosser into this post, conditional on the behavior of that safety. The second supporting cast problem is that they lose to interior pressure, right? You're going to watch right here. This defensive tackle initially is double teamed. This is 5 against 4 with chip help. You should not be giving up pressure here, but they lose the double team on the interior. So now Maye can't climb and deliver this, or hitch, climb, and deliver this. We know he can make that throw. We know he can throw it. If you give him room to hitch, he will throw that and he'll hit it a lot. But he can't do it because the interior pressure, so he ducks his ball and he runs and ends up being like a scramble for 2 yards. So that like this play in its summation, in its entirety, is an example of, okay, like Maye is probably being too aggressive. You can take at either time, you throw the out, you can throw this to the flat. There are throws that you can attempt. Maye's big game hunting, so there's too much aggression. But I also don't like the way this receiver behaves, and I don't like the fact that we're giving up interior pressure here. And that's how your supporting cast starts to wear on your quarterback, starts to take away throws that he could otherwise attempt. So some of the fault with Maye, some of the fault with supporting cast. Now, what's very interesting to me is that when people talk about their concerns with Maye, they don't talk about like the cost of his aggressiveness, some of those scramble drill and sack plays that we see because he's always looking for these downfield throws. Instead, they talk about mechanical concerns. They talk about his footwork in the pocket. They talk about his upper body mechanics, his throwing motion. I think the footwork stuff definitely has veracity, right? Maye does not like to tether the timing of his routes to the timing of his feet. You don't see him often go, 3-step, land on the back foot, hitch and drive. You will see him do it. It is there. But in general, he likes to narrow his feet and he kind of bounces. And that will make him late and inaccurate on throws. That mechanic problem, I think, is real. good example here of happy feet causing accuracy drain, right? We get an in-breaking route here short, and then this is going to be an intermediate route, and this is going to go vertical, right? May here is on one-step drop footwork, all right? You snap this ball, and then bang. You just land on the back foot. The only route he could be throwing right now on one-step drop footwork is this, right? Because if you were trying to throw this primary, you'd be on three-step drop footwork. He's on one-step drop. Now, he's just going to bounce, boop, boop, right? You watch it all the way through. You just see him kind of hopping. Boop, boop, boop. We can go end zone view, see the boop, boop. Okay, snap the football. Oh, boop, boop, boop. Right? That's just, this is not good pocket footwork. What I would prefer to see is just go three-step drop. So you don't have to buy time with little bounces. And then you can actually hitch and step into this. Because you'll see that his base narrows, right? It gets real narrow. And then he doesn't actually gain any ground with that forward step, right? And so since he doesn't gain any ground, his body is positioned like he's throwing to something over here, right? His hip is closed for a route that's going to end up working this direction, and you're going to want to throw that more towards the middle of the field. If you're throwing this middle of the field, you'd want to be a little bit more open towards that middle of the field. But he's close to it right now because of the way his feet worked. Accordingly, this ball is way behind the receiver, right? It looks like he's throwing a curl, and then he ends up coming around his body and throwing this in-breaker, and you end up with that ball way behind. Now, funny, tip drill play, and then he catches it and he runs and whatever. What I do want to point out, though, and I think this is important to understanding May's evaluation, is that the timing in his feet here is not good. Watch the receiver running the route, because this is the route he's targeting the whole way. Right? The timing in the route it doesn't match. It's not good. It's not brisk. It's not crisp. It's not fast. We're doing like release drill footwork when we have off cover, right? There is nobody to be breaking off. If that corner's right here, then you give him a little bit of like, oh, here, where am I going? You're trying to generate some leverage, create an angle to get into your route. There's nobody to be doing this to. And so May's footwork is not good, right? There's no world in which boop, 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 boop is helpful for anybody. However, I struggle to fault him a little bit because I don't understand what we're doing with this route. And so when we start to have footwork concerns, okay, I don't like May's footwork in the pocket. I also understand why he feels like he's buying time because his receiver's wasting time in the stem. And so you got to talk a little bit of May's problems, a little bit of supporting cast problems. This is such a great example of where we can, I think, double count with May with the footwork thing, right? So okay, big post here, crosser here. Guess what Drake May's trying to throw? Everybody knows at this point, whatever. If you watch his feet, just watch his feet in the pocket, all right? We click our heels, and then we're never tethered to the ground, right? He looks like he's high stepping in a drill here, right? There's the heel click, and then we got happy feet, we got pitter patter, right? And so he's just never tethered to the ground. He doesn't need you want to be landing on your drop back, you want to be hitching up, whatever. Is this ball inaccurate because his feet are bad? I don't think so. I think this ball is inaccurate because he was pressured and because he's way too freaking aggressive, right? We're gonna get a game here on the interior. So right at the top of your drop now, you get collar coming down the pipe, and you can't just kind of drift to the right and throw this, because if you drift to the right and throw this collar's going to get right in your face. Drake May tries to just drift to his right and throw this, right? And again, look at where his body is framed versus where he tries to get this ball off, right? This body positioning is throwing a route here, and May ends up trying to whip this ball around and throw this across his body into the middle of the field, shorts it by 4 yards. So firstly, firstly, this ball is inaccurate because there's immediate pressure up the interior. We can't, his feet are bad. His guards are bad. This is the number one reason why this throw is hard. The second thing is the choice he makes. Oh, what an inaccurate pass. Don't try to do this. Throw this, which now, it's third and long, right? And we know Drake May, if it's third and long, he's throwing beyond the sticks. And so even with pressure in his lap, he tries to make this throw work and ends up having, horribly inaccurate throw. What a miss. And it's okay, yeah, he missed. But the coaching point here isn't fix his feet. Certainly you want to fix his feet. The coaching point here is dude, if you're pressured, just get the ball to your tight end and see if your tight end can break a tackle for you. You're never going to have this throw. It's far too challenging. Just take the underneath throw. And if you have to punt it, punt it. Now, the other mechanical concern, like I said, is the upper body mechanics. People talk about how his throwing motion is kind of segmented. He'll separate the ball too early. There's a loop and a dip to his motion. He certainly has like a longer throwing motion than Caleb does, JJ does, Jaden does. He also, I think, is less loose than those guys, right? A lot of those guys have a little sidearm and 3/4 release, and May tends to just have a full release pretty much everywhere, right? I think he's a little bit stiffer than those dudes. But if I like put my thinking cap on and I really try to like find the film where the release is so bad that it like leads to accuracy problems, I honestly cannot find it. And if you go and you like, people have this discourse, I go and I look for clips from these people, I can't find them. So this to me feels like myth making. I don't buy some of this mechanical issue. And I think a lot of it, again, is double counting. Here's, I think, like one of the worst interceptions you'll ever see. All right, UNC is backed up to the 1. Drake Maye drop back, all right? He's going to sail this crosser. Oh, he threw the crosser again. And it's going to be picked off by a safety like 7 yards behind the target. The number one coaching point here is just don't do this. Like, no. Like, outbreaker here, and then this bender behind it. The geometry of all of these defenders. Don't throw this. Maybe throw this if you're getting to the backside while also 8 yards back in your end zone. Like, that's unreasonable. Just chuck it away. Just throw it over here, 2nd and 10. Like, just, the coaching point is don't do this. Now, if we want to have a mechanics conversation, end zone view, we can say this is a mechanical problem if we want, right? There's some pitter patter to his feet right here. Like, that moment right there with his feet is weird, right? Because it looks initially like he's setting to that last crosser that we saw, right? That inbreaker right here. And then all of a sudden he decides, no, you know what? I'm going to put my front foot forward and I'm going to throw that first bender, right? That's going to this side of the field. You don't want to see for your quarterback his lead step, that front foot, when he gets ready to throw, you don't want to see it go from outside of his body to inside of his body. That's weird. That's bad. It's okay. The footwork isn't good. There's also like a big, long looping release, right? He gets the back foot dug in. You can see the hands come far separate. He's got that ball loaded all the way back here. And then he's going to cycle around and throw this with pressure coming onto his throwing arm, right? And so you say, okay, maybe if we speed up this release, we can actually hit this window here. Because like, okay, there is a window. Maybe we can hit this more successfully if we speed up the release. I find neither the footwork argument nor the upper body throwing mechanics argument more compelling than my center is on the ground, my tight end didn't stop the edge rusher, I have pressure here and pressure here, and I'm kind of a bonehead who attempts the hardest throws on the field as if like it's a trick shot competition. This is not a mechanically perfect play by any means, and I don't walk away from it being like, oh, we gotta fix this mechanics. I'm like, we gotta just not throw this. Make better choices, dude. Now, I'm yelling at the guy. I'm saying, make better choices, Drake. And that's all well and good. But then we get to 4th and 4, all right, against the same Duke team, and we're doing boneheaded stuff in the route stem again, where we want to be able to throw this fast, right? Because it's 4th and 4, and we're doing basketball NBA Jam crossover moves, and we're not getting into the break, all right? And so now, and we're losing with protection in the interior. And so now Drake's got to eat that pump fake and with a defender laying on his back leg, pick up the first down. And it's like, all right, I get why he makes some boneheaded mistakes, right? If the trade I'm making is mechanical inconsistencies and some bad decision making for plays like this, I'm making that trade every day of the week. And that's what confounds me about the Maye conversation. People talk about his mechanics and his decision making like they're prohibitive to him being a top quarterback, when we have so much evidence that like big plays are king in the NFL. Scramble drill is king in the NFL. Second reaction is king in the NFL. If you can make big plays for me, I will take some mistakes from you. I am making the trade on Drake Maye. I am taking the bad with the good every day of the week. I'm signing on the dotted line. Like, give me this deal. 3rd and 12, okay? Down 1 score in the 4th quarter. Covered up. Come on. He looks like he's a left-handed quarterback. This is the receiver. This is the corner. He's going to throw this route, right? He's got to flip his hips. I want him on my team. Okay, last one, I promise. This is my favorite Drake Maye play. Okay. He doesn't hitch. He doesn't hitch into the throw. All right? Watch, like, oh, footwork. Watch this throw. Okay? Pressure off the left, drift to the right. No hitch, right? So just stick your right foot down and uncork this sucker. Oh, I know I'm becoming that which I swore to destroy. I'm saying, oh, everybody likes Drake Maye because the peak plays. But dude, the peak plays are so good. Good night. No further questions. There's a lot about Maye's game that we didn't even have time to get to here, right? Like there's examples of processing. He gets to the backside dig. He's moving players with his eyes. Like there's example of like high caliber post snap work that he's changing plays at the line of scrimmage. He sets protection. There's pre-snap work. He's got plays of like designed runs where he's breaking tackles. There is a body of work to Drake Maye that tells the future of a high ceiling NFL quarterback, a potential top 5, top 10 starter in the league. That's not to say he is going to get there, but that player is clearly within him. And the stuff that you have to work through to get him there is pretty typical stuff. It's like, hey, you're not immortal in the NFL the way you are in college. You have to throw the ball away a little bit more, and you have to get rid of the ball quickly against pressure a little bit more. Hey, the windows are going to close faster in the NFL relative to college. You can't be as aggressive. You can't take as many chances with the football. Like this is classic stuff to work on with an NFL quarterback moving into college, and we've seen it happen before. The player that he reminds me the most of is Trevor Lawrence for these reasons. He's got this big frame, and he's a loping runner, and he can run away from guys. But in college, he's just, okay, one read, and he's just shooting, and arm talent is solving all his problems for him. And in the league, he had to learn how to be a little bit less aggressive and how to throw with a little bit better timing and work with a little bit better footwork. And he's done all of those things. He still has these bouts of big accuracy issues the same way that Maye does. And he still has those superhero cape plays that Maye does as well. Maye might not be like the new big name on the block. He might not have the meteoric rise through 2023 that Jayden Daniels and JJ McCarthy has. But I think that we, as a quarterback watching community, are dramatically overweighing the importance, the significance of his weaknesses, and forgetting about just how perfect, just how polar, 90th, 95th percentile his best plays are. We have forgotten just how magical this dude is because he's been doing it for so long, and he's going to do it in the league for a long time as well. And that'll do it for us here on the Play Sheet. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our Drake Maye episode. Last week, we had a JJ McCarthy episode. We're going to get Jayden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and the rest of this quarterback class over the month of April. So make sure you subscribe, like the video, comment. All right, I'll catch you next week.